Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to be with me today to review my final project for the Garthwaite Leadership Program and the Garthwaite Leadership Center, which was campus printers, which I consider to be a very meaningful change that could be instituted to the Gettysburg community. So, really kind of setting the foundation for the ideas of this project and really where this idea kind of came about. Currently, I am a class senator for the class of 2024, and a fellow senator and close personal friend of mine noticed that at the beginning of the second semester on campus, a lot of students from the student body started to come to us and tell us that they did not have accessible printer usage and that they were not in any way able to access printing other in two major locations on campus, either in Gladfelter Hall or in the campus print shop, which is out past the Jaeger Center. And being a senator, you work for the entirety of the college. You represent everybody in the college, and you try to provide a unified and more accessible campus to all students, and you work for all students. So really, this idea came out of the foundational principles that we as senators need to provide accessibility to all students. And really, this idea of campus printers, we decided, would be so monumental in being able to put different printing locations on campus or in one campus location that is visited by a lot of students that would make campus printing more accessible. And what is so fantastic about this change that me and this fellow senator are pushing through the infrastructure of administration and trying to get this project underway is it coincides directly with Garthwaite Leadership Center and the techniques and the skills and all of the great information that we have learned being leaders working this year with Garthwaite Leadership Center. Really, the foundational principles we're seeking to push through with this campus printing issue is to fix the existing campus printer imbalance and to move the college more or less back to some semblance of normal. In the wake of COVID-19, there have been a lot of college policies that have been instituted and changed, such as printer usage, common contact, touch, students gathering in places. So that's something that we're trying to seek to change with this, is putting the college back into normal with adding more printers and kind of getting back to where we were pre-pandemic. And along with this process comes many, many leadership traits and challenges that we have learned through GLC semester. So really in formatting our ideas, we were really, Aiden and I came up with the idea of campus printing, and we were really interested in who we are going to be presenting this issue to. We came up with the idea that obviously we need more campus printers. We want to put printers somewhere on the campus as to where it's going to be accessible to everyone. People are going to have easy access to using these printers. But really the initial challenge was, who do we present this to? How in Student Senate, and who do we approach being in Student Senate to try to get this idea moving? And how are we going to get people on board? And this, we found out, really required using a lot of leadership, effective and communicative traits that are required to get people on board with your project and your idea, and to get people to really want to jump on board and help you support this. So really, in trying to get the gears turning with this idea, we decided that being in Senate and both of us serving on the College Life Advisory Committees, that we would go to the College Life Advisory Committee chair of Student Senate to discuss this issue further of putting campus printers in. So, and of course, pushing through with the Student Senate, we decided that we would go to the College Life Advisory, or the CLAC committee, which we both sit on and attend regularly. This committee deals with a wide array of college policy issues, student life, and we felt that this would be the best place to get this idea forward, to get more printers and to get administration on board with this idea. We attended a CLAC meeting and we saw that many people were on board with the idea. Our CLAC chair and a member of the exec board of Student Senate loved the idea, said that she experienced the same problem with campus printers and has heard from many people before that this is a major issue and this is something that needs to be seriously addressed. And our good friend on the CLAC board and the executive board member decided to move the idea onto the executive board, to pass this idea that she thought was good onto the upper levels of the Student Senate to try to gain more support. And this is really important in highlighting a lot of the important skills highlighted in GLC this year. we had to communicate with people who have valuable opinions. And this is something that is learned very heavily in GLC, is that being a leader, you have to be able to effectively communicate with other leaders. And you have to gain the persuasion of other leaders and get other leaders on board with your idea to help your leadership goals come true. And that's something that was very much highlighted in GLC this semester and this entire year, which was imperative also in developing an advocacy network. We learned significantly that leaders rely on other leaders to work together on different projects and to help your common ideas move forward through the help of other leaders, and developing that group of people who will advocate for you, and that cohortion of leaders that will push common ideas together, which was imperative and exemplified in this printer project. We really did start to see a lot of progress after we decided to put the campus printer issue forward. After Miranda had reached out to the executive board and Student Senate with CLAC helped us set up a meeting with Tom Franza, who is the Gettysburg College Director of Infrastructure and Computing. And so this was a very important meeting, because this was really the first cornerstone or the first hurdle that was overcome with this printing project idea, and that we now have administration's attention, and that we now have different levels of the college interested in this idea. So we are now being shined in a lot of ways as leaders, and people are now starting more or less to look at us as even better leaders, being in Student Senate, working with this printer issue. So my fellow senator and I, who are working on the printer issue, along with Miranda, who was the CLAC and executive board member, met with Tom Franza, and he was very receptive to his idea, to our idea. He was very input oriented in telling us all the computer and technical logistics of putting printers in and how this would move forward. But a thing that was very much emphasized both in GLC this semester and at this meeting was the need to remain flexible. Tom emphasized that we might not necessarily get everything we want in regards to the number of printers and their exact location that we would want, putting them on campus. We were very interested in putting them in the College Union building, and maybe having 2 or more printers, but he said the network and logistics of this might not necessarily be possible. So he was really emphasizing our need to remain flexible. And again, this is something that we learned in GLC. Being leaders, you have to be adaptable, and you have to be flexible and willing to listen to other people's opinions to be able to achieve some common goal. Be willing and able to bargain with people, and to be willing and able to listen to others for a common idea. And like with this was very similar to pursuing our advocacy network. So we developed the advocacy network with Miranda and communicating with administration. This is pursuing that, getting the connections to coincide and to work together to get this idea in motion. And really in the final stages, kind of where we are right now with the printer project, after we met with Tom Franza and discussed the logistics of the computing and everything of that nature, we are really presenting and communicating with the Student Senate College Liaison. So Jonathan Allen, who is a great member of the college and a great advocate for Student Senate, sits in on our meetings and regularly hears student concerns. And so Tom Franza, after that initial meeting, referred us to another member of the college administration that we're kind of going to relay with to try to move the printer idea a little bit more forward in the future. And this is really a classic example and a very clear example of something that we learned this semester in GLC, was being open and receptive to new ideas and to compromises in leadership. You know, leadership, as I will highlight later at the end of the presentation, isn't necessarily about you or about what your common goals are. It's about being able to use your common goals, but also coincide them with the needs and wants of other people, and to work for other people and be able to pursue those goals for others. And that's something that is very clear, and the being open and receptive to new ideas and compromises as we move forward with this next stage with Jonathan Allen and possibly getting the printers in, as this could be the last hurdle that we kind of accomplish in this leadership exemplified example of campus printing and getting this issue in. And also something that's very exemplified in this is forging a relationship network between our advocates. So in leadership, you know, you develop these advocates like I talked about previously, this common theme of leadership of people being able to develop, work together, and to work for other leaders and to pursue common ideas. And this is, again, a classic example of forging a relationship network, as to which we now have almost like a connect the dots grid of people who are now working for one common project and trying to get that instituted to help so many people, which is such a powerful exemplar of leadership and what we have learned this semester. And really the last kind of tidbit, what's the future of campus printers? Well, right now we're just waiting to hear back from Tom Franza and Jonathan Allen on their kind of connection and maybe what they got together and discovered with the networking and the logistics of this. My fellow senator and friend of mine are waiting to hear back as to which the next stages are. We've already discussed all of the cost logistics. Tom did not seem to think that from the IT standpoint that cost would be an issue, providing the paper and maintenance of the printers. And Jonathan Allen said that he knows the location of the printers. It wouldn't be a need of having to buy printers. It would simply be putting them out and getting them installed. In our most recent communication, he had said that they would be installed in about a day if they needed to be after they decide to install them. So that's really where we are right now. And it's an interesting time with the GLC project and the printer project because they're both coinciding, but the printer project is not quite finished as early, ideally, as it could be to be able to provide everyone listening to this and with GLC the end result of this printer project. But hopefully our fingers are crossed and the future is looking bright for new campus printers. And really a reflection of the GLC program. I've kind of developed really 5 pillars as to what I think are the most important aspects of GLC that we have learned this semester. And the first one is leadership is about we, not me. And that's really exemplaring the fact that when you're a leader, you work for people and you work for the interests of those people. You don't let the interest of yourself hinder your ability to work for those other people. And that's really, leadership is not about me, but it's about we. And it's about a teamwork and about working for a common objective that benefits everybody. The second pillar that I've discovered is confidence and motivation is key. Being able to have an idea, develop it, and effectively present yourself to get that idea across to other people is something that's imperative in leadership and leading groups of people. Collaboration is paramount. Being able to work with others, to deal with others, to hear the thoughts and ideas of others is something that is also imperative, as you will not get anywhere if you don't receive the input of others, and you won't improve yourself without receiving the input of others. And the other kind of aspect is you have to be adaptable, possess adaptability, be willing to change and alter to different scenarios and situations that occur throughout your leadership journey, as this helps you grow and learn moving forward, pushing through with your leadership goals. And really emphasizing the last pillar, it might seem similar to collaboration, but being able to listen to others. Don't just listen to fellow leaders, but listen to the people that you are leading. And be very receptive that there's ideas as you are leading for their interest and making sure that they are paramount in your leadership goals and objectives. And lastly, I just would like to extend a very special thank you to the GLC team. It's been a wonderful semester and year, virtual semester, virtual year, and thank you very much for all your efforts in helping us grow as leaders, both as students and in the future for the professional capacity. My thanks go out to you. It's been terrific to work with all of you. Thank you very much.